Hi, everybody. It's Diana here at Build a Quilt. It's week 9 of our 24 block challenge. So let's go ahead and quilt life beautiful. Okay, everybody. So this week is week 9 of our 24 block challenge. And I'm going to be showing you the free handout. I'm going to be showing you fabric. I'm going to be showing you layout. And at the end of this video is going to be the 2 segment demonstrations and how to stitch them together. So let's go ahead and take a look at the free download first. Okay, so here is our free download, and you can see right here, this is this week's block. So a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, we talked about modern quilting. And I confess that I don't do a lot of modern quilting, or I don't consider myself a modern quilter. But I have been doing some studying on that. I've been watching some great videos from some great modern quilters. I even believe Tula Pink considers herself a modern quilter. And so this block I've put together so that if you put it together in a quilt, you're going to get that modern quilt vibe. At least I think so. So this is your free download, and I'll show you how to get that at the end of our video here. But remember, to get the digital patterns that you need for the segment pieces, you need to own either our Build a Quilt basic combo set in the larger sizes, 3, 4, and 5 inches. You get the half square triangle, the square, and the quarter square triangle. And you get the flying geese, the split rail, and the diamond in a square. Remember, all of those come in 3, 4, or 5-inch pieces. My demonstration piece is done in 3-inch segment pieces because I'm making all 24 of my blocks in 9-inch finished blocks for myself. And then you could also do it in our mini set version. Same 6 segments, but these come in 1, 1.5, and 2-inch segments. And this was created so that if you have a pattern and you need to mix your sizes from small to larger segment pieces to create certain blocks, you've got everything you need. Now with this set alone or this set alone, you can make hundreds of quilts just with those sizes. But a lot of patterns will have multiple sizes that create like a full block, and these 2 should cover both of those. If you're someone that loves doing mini quilts, then our mini set is definitely for you. And that's one of the other main reasons that we created it, was so that everybody who loved doing minis could do that. I've always loved mini quilts, like true mini quilts, 6x6, 7x7 inches, but I'm rubbish at it when it comes to doing it by hand. So with this, I've had no problem at all. So that's where you get your how-to video. Now, your how-to videos for your segment pieces, I apologize. I said they were going to be at the end of this video. I apologize. They are with your set. When you get your set, it has the how-to videos for each segment, and that you'll just, when you choose the segment you need to make, you can watch that how-to video. I apologize, I forgot about that. But I do want to share with you how you go about using your set if you're going to do these. And this set works for all 24 of our blocks. So in this block, we need to make a diamond and a square, and we need to make some quarter square triangles, 2 segment pieces. So when I go to the page for diamond and a square, down at the bottom, depending on the finished size that I want, it's going to tell me what size I need to cut my fabric to start. And I give you a generous size there, especially if you're new, or especially if you tend to lay your fabric down and it gets a little wonky, and when you flip it, you don't have quite enough to cover that edge. You do with this cutting size that I've given you in the manuals. And then within the free handout, it's going to tell you how many of each one to make in each color. So it's very simple to do. you're going to just take this, find your piece, find the size you want, and then cut those pieces according to what it tells you in your free download for this block. Super duper simple. So before we cover the segments, well, let's go ahead and do the segments, I guess, right now. Let's go to our overhead camera. There we go. So we're going to be making a diamond in a square. Now, if this looks far away to you, remember on your phones and iPads, you can pinch this so that this comes in closer if you need to see it closer. But you can do the diamond in a square super easy. It is basically a square. You cut off your 4 sides once it's stitched down, and you put on 4 flippy corners. And with Build a Quilt, it's really easy to do your flippy corners. I know flippy corners in other methods can be a little frustrating for people, but it's super simple to do with the Build a Quilt method. And then the other segment that we're going to be making is our quarter square triangle. Now you'll get all of this information in that how-to video, but the quarter square triangle is actually made of 2 exact halves. So you would make 2 halves that look exactly the same. You don't flip your colors, you don't rotate your piece. 2 just like this. When they come together, they'll make your quarter square triangle. And the reason that this is like the one segment that's done in 2 pieces. And the reason for that is we have all of these interior corners. So if I were just to flip from piece to piece to piece, I'd get to my last piece and I would end up with an interior corner, an interior seam, a Y seam, however you want to call that. So you're going to make 2 pieces. At the end of this video, there is the little how-to piece on stitching these together. You'll just stitch them together, press them, and you'll have a beautiful quarter square triangle. Now let's go ahead and talk about our fabrics. I chose, and the picture on your free download is this fabric as well. I chose 2 fabrics this week by Lori Holt from her Americana collection. Let me see. Do I have these exact names sitting here? Let me double check. Yes. So the greenish one, the aqua one, actually, is Americana Independence Raindrop. And the blue one is Americana Boston Denim. So those are 2 fabrics from the Lori Holt Americana line that I used to make these. I felt if I was going to make something that was supposed to look a little bit more modern, I didn't want big florals and things. A lot of you know, I don't care to do just solids, but these are pieces that the print is small enough that it gives it more of a geometric look than a solid or anything else, and can read kind of as a solid. So those are the 2 pieces. Your download will tell you how many to cut of each, and your instructions from your set will tell you how to prep them. And then these are my segment pieces from the from my piece, from my square. So I have a diamond in a square, and then I have a quarter square triangle with the blue facing upward. Okay. And then I have another diamond in a square. So as you can see, the blue runs together here, right through these. Then if we're going to go across here, actually we'll do the next row. I have a quarter square, and the blue again touches the blue, so the blue is going this way. Here it's going up and down. Here it's north and south. This is east and west. Then I have another quarter square triangle. The blue is going east and west. And a third quarter square triangle with the blue going east and west. So that center column, east, west, east, west, east, west. Then in my final column here, I have another diamond in a square. I have another quarter square triangle, but this time the blue is going north and south, just like it did over here. And then my final diamond in a square, and that's your block. So you end up with this kind of a bow tie look in the center, but you end up with kind of these squares in a square on point throughout the rest of the block. If you were to put this together 4 across and 5 rows down, you'd get a great 36 by 45 throw quilt. It would be gorgeous. You could expand it and make it as big as you want, but you get this very interesting look of all of these squares within squares that are all on point, and then all of these little bow ties. Now, if you wanted to make this even more of a modern look, you could do your squares in different colors, each block in different colors throughout your quilt. You could gradate it from darkest color to lightest color as you worked through the quilt. You could do it in complete solid fabrics, but the way I've created it, it's just 2 fabrics. These are the ones that I've chosen. That's the information that's in here, but you can substitute those 2 colors for any 2 colors that you want. Now let's blow this out a little bit so you can kind of see how this is going to come together. So in your layout, there you go. So you're going to have basically either 3 rows or put them together in columns, however you wish. So normally if we do a 3 up, 3 down type block, this is a basic 9 patch. Diamond in a square, quarter square triangle, diamond in a square, quarter square, quarter square, quarter square. Boy, is that a tongue twister. And then diamond in a square, quarter square, and diamond in a square. Do your 3 blocks or your 3 rows, sorry. And then take this row and attach it to the center, and that row and attach it to the center. And you have a beautiful block. This is block 9 from our 24 block challenge. I hope you guys like this. Right at the end here, there will be a little video clip on how you sew everything together at the end without using your 1/4 inch foot. In fact, take that 1/4 inch foot off, put on a regular sewing foot, because if you're used to using a 1/4 foot, that is going to throw off your seams. Remember, the seam allowance is built in, and you have a sewing line on the back that is created when you're making your segments. And that is the line that you want to follow. If you can stitch down that line, you'll have the perfect seam each and every time. So this is block 9 of our 24 block challenge, and you can get that free download at our website, www.mybuildaquilt.com. And if you haven't already and you want to start doing the blocks or any of our other quilts, we use these sets a lot here at Build a Quilt. And so there is our full size set of 6, 3, 4, and 5 inch, and our minis, 1, 1.5, and 2 inch. That is everything I wanted to show you in this video. Remember, I introduce this block every Wednesday night at Wednesday Workshop at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you want more hints, more things, you want to see the diagram of a quilt that I just mocked up so you can see what it would look like, check out the video from Wednesday, October 29th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. In fact, if you don't do it normally, join us on that evening. It's always a fun evening. We always have a little giveaway at the end. I am introducing these new blocks on Wednesdays now. I always do a little bit of a show and tell. I always do a Q&A, that kind of thing. So until next time, everybody, you know that I believe quilters are artists in their own right, and we make the world a more beautiful place. So let's all go out and quilt life beautiful. Bye for now, everybody.
Hi everybody, so this is Diana, and I'm here at my sewing machine to show you how to sew your pieces together without getting that stitch line to show. Now you can see here I just have 2 little half square triangles. I've used the pin method up here at the point to make sure they're lined up, and I just have 1 clip here. Now what I do first is when I put this in my machine, I get my needle right to where the line would be, right on that stitch line, okay? Then I come over to my machine's tools, and I take my width down by 1, and that's all. Now I'm going to put it back up, and I'm going to take you back over to here and let you see that. Okay, so watch the needle, how that moves. I'm going to move it now. See how it just moved one place to the inside, or I guess as you're looking at it, it would be to the left. That would be to the inside. Now I'm going to place my needle down, and I can go ahead and remove my clip because this is a small piece, and I can sew right down. And I have my stitch length at 1.8, and you can see now that I've already done a few stitches, it is still right one click in. It's not directly on top of it, and so I should, when I'm done, be able to finish and not have that black line sewn, and you just follow it all the way down. Now I'm going to cut my thread and bring it out, and I will open this up and bring it right back over so you can see it. So there it is, opened up. Now you might see a little of the black in this case because I used that marker, but when I'm just going to open up my seam in the back and hold it open for you. But you can see when I hold it open, that's just a little piece of thread that I can pull out of there. That's gone. And now you don't see it at all. You don't see any of the black thread, which I used for demonstration purposes, but you don't see any of my original embroidery thread from making the patchwork itself. And that is just by moving that needle one space and one space only. And again, I always stitch these with a 1.8 or a 2.0 stitch length so that it really holds these together when you go and open them up. And when I open it up here, you can see the line all the way down on both sides, and that's what you should be able to do. So I hope that you found that helpful. That was a great question. Thank you so much for asking that. And now we'll move on with the rest of the Q&A for today.